I'm off center.
Well then.
Hello?
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Hey guys, so today...
Get the one off.
Get the one out. Come back up.
Come back. Good boy, you're getting calm. Today we are going to have a little fun.
What? You're doing great. Welcome to married life.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we have a really exciting video planned for you.
Yeah, so we had some of you guys reach out to us and say that you just started subscribing to our channel and that you love our videos, but you really don't know anything about who we are, and that makes complete sense. We are blessed enough to have had some fans that have been around for a long time, so when we started this channel, most of our subscribers were those people. Some of you guys watching right now who have been around since
Day one.
The boy band days
Yeah.
and my acting days, and we're so grateful for you guys that have stuck around with us. But we want to just kind of reintroduce ourselves and tell our story to those of you guys that are new. You guys requested to kind of hear more about how we met and our relationship and all the fun things.
Yeah.
So I actually put out a inquiry, I don't know what you want to call it, put out a little thing on Instagram.
A little thing.
A little thing. If there are any really fun questions about our relationship that you wanted to know, to send them in. So we're gonna kind of tell you our story, and then at the end, we'll be answering your questions that you submitted through Instagram. So if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell.
Like it. What else do they do? You covered it.
Yeah, that was good.
Comment, subscribe.
So let's get started. So we met, what was it, like
2008.
10 years ago?
Yeah.
11 years ago. And I had just moved out from Mississippi, and you were moving out from Georgia.
Well, I was doing a little test run.
Yeah.
And I think in May of 2008, I had come out to an acting class from Georgia, and my mom and I were just kind of here for 2 weeks, taking the acting class, testing it out.
Yeah, I was at the class when he came to take it for the first time.
And without her knowing, the acting the acting coach at the time had called me, and I'm 15, and was like, hey, I have this redheaded girl I'd love to introduce you to. And he liked to play matchmaker, and I think, what was I, the third, fourth guy?
He was the third guy this acting coach had tried to set me up with. We'll be grateful for it.
I was just this little rascal who was like, yeah, cool, can't wait to meet her. Not thinking really
But he didn't tell me. I didn't know that I was being pimped out. What?
I guess he was trying to make it feel
enticing.
Yeah, organic on my side instead of planned. So if you knew,
I guess. Little did I know that he was flying across the country to meet little old me.
To be honest with you, I really I didn't think anything about it until I was outside rehearsing my scene with this guy, and I happened to just kind of
This is the first time we ever laid eyes on each other.
Well, I laid eyes on you because I peeked around I just had happened to look around the corner. I was practicing my lines, and I look up around the corner, and I see Michelle and two other girls rehearsing this dance that you guys are about to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she dances. Check mark number one.
Oh, I didn't know any of this back then. This is how I remember it. So I remember doing that dance. I remember it was to Pussycat Dolls song, When I Grow Up. Remember that song? We were all called inside because TC was going to do his first scene, and the acting coach had me sit right next to him so I could be front and center and watch TC do his scene. And so I remember being okay, this kid's weird, but whatever. And so the whole day goes
I'm
by.
weird?
Yeah.
Why am I weird?
It was just a really awkward scene that he had to do, but he was going for it. But at 14, everything's just weird. So I just remember that was my first impression of him. This shaggy hair, and
I think I still have the shaggy hair.
I know, it was bad, guys. It was like a mop on his head. It was not great. I just remember after class that day, he pulled us together into the room. He was like, hey, so Michelle, I know you dance, and TC, I know you dance. How about you guys exchange numbers and go take a dance class together?
Bam.
And so I was like...
Got him.
I was like, okay, whatever. So I'm the worst.
She was not feeling it.
I was not feeling
at
it.
all.
Not interested.
And I knew it. But I had a secret card in the back pocket. I knew she wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, I was not, but I was like, okay, whatever. And I just remember this vision of like us standing in the hallway and he would not stop talking. He just kept talking.
Really?
And talking.
I feel like that's very unlike me. I feel like I would be quiet.
I know, but back then I just had this memory in my head, standing outside Studio B, I think it was, and just waiting for the first class to come out, and you were just talking and trying to get to know me, but I was not interested. And so
you weren't even interested to be a friend.
Yeah, like I was being so mean, guys. I was
she
literally
didn't
like,
even care.
okay, yeah, like to everything you were saying. And I remember this because I was just not interested.
And I think it's interesting that you say that, because I think the only reason I was so confident is because I was like, okay, well, T-minus 35 minutes.
And little did he know, he was right. So we go into the dance class.
I wasn't confident as a human being, but I was confident in my world.
Yeah.
And my world was dancing. So as soon as I got into that space, that must have been why
your
I was
confidence came out.
so talkative.
Yeah.
Because I knew I had a little
Trick
thing
up
up
your
my
sleeve. Start learning the choreography. And I'm watching him and I'm like, oh, okay, he's kind of good, whatever, but I'm good too, so no big deal. And
good too.
then we get to the end of dance class and they pull like people out to do like solos or like a couple groups. So they pull some girls and it's like me and a couple girls and we go do our dance and they pull the guys out.
But then the guys, it's always like...
There's not a lot of guys back then.
It's always like 3 guys.
Yeah, there's always like a ton of girls and like 3 guys in the whole class. TC, of course, gets pulled out because there's not too many guys to choose from. Then the kid dances.
And I knew it. Because when I looked over, it was just a sense on her face that wasn't... There was a look on her face that wasn't there before. It was just a look of like, intrigued, of like...
That's when it all changed.
It was like a look of like... Did he just do what I think he did?
Okay.
And I had this thing where I used to wear, I don't even think I have one. It was the fitted hat. Arizona Diamondback fitted hat. It was brown with a black D and it had my initials sewn into the side. I don't know if you remember. And I wore it backwards. But whenever I started dancing...
Oh, that was your move. You would like freestyle for a second, then you turn the hat around right before the choreography would start.
So in the very beginning, there's like an 8 count of 2 where people would freestyle.
Yeah. Which is my worst fear in the entire world. I hate those 2 8 counts of freestyle. So
my freestyle, or like getting in the mode to then perform, I would wear my hat like backwards, and then I would switch it around forward, and I'd get it like real low, like to where you couldn't see my like face.
He thought he was so cool.
And I had these baggy clothes on, and I would just start like feeling myself, and then I would go off.
Oh, ladies, it got me.
I would go off.
It sounds ridiculous, but
and
it got me.
The funny thing is, I remember this moment where then after, like, it was almost like I was Sasha Fierce, and I would come out of myself after the choreography ended, and so they were like, oh, people would like, you know, kind of clap or whatever, and I remember then turning my hat back around like this, you know, and looking at you and be like,
yeah, I did that. I just did that. And that for me was the moment where I was like, okay, let's give this a shot. So that was like our technically like first time hanging out, the first moment that we like found that there was an attraction.
Yeah, that was it.
Let's go through some of these questions now. What was our first official date? I remember.
Well, that wasn't really. Was it a date? I'm wondering if that's really the first date.
We went to a movie. Yeah, that was our first date.
We went to a place called City Walk, but we went and saw Hulk.
Tell them the real story though.
You like how I just?
Yeah, you just slid right on past the truth there. What really happened was
we went to see Hulk, yes, but
what he wanted to see was that scary movie. I don't even know what it was called.
Or no, that came out later.
It was, they were like in a cabin and these like ghost faces kept like popping up everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
We never saw it. He wanted to see a scary movie because he wanted the typical like TV, oh, I'm so scared. He wanted
By the
to
way, I
go
hate scary movies myself, so I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I didn't know, but I was like, I don't want to see this. But it was like a first date, so I was like gonna suck it up. And neither
How
of
did we come
us,
to the agreement of Hulk?
because we were under 18 and they wouldn't let us in. They were like, ID? You handed them your ID.
I was actually super naive, by the way.
We were.
I didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay, here. And they're like,
That's
what it was, yeah.
You're under 18.
Like,
and so you're like,
ooh,
crap.
that's a thing.
Well, then what do we want to see? We were there at a specific time. We'd been dropped off. We were going to get picked up at a certain time, so we had to like pick something. So we went to see the Hulk. And the whole time during the movie, you remember? There was like the armrests.
Oh god. Don't follow this, guys. If you're out there trying to pick up a girl, do not do this.
So you had your arm on the armrest and I had my arm on the armrest. And we were just like watching the movie, and obviously like we were into each other. So we both had our hands here because we both wanted the same thing.
And our wrists were, if not touching, they were
like close. So every once in a while he would like take his little pinky and like do something.
No, I would not.
Yes! And then occasionally he'd be like, wow, your hands are so tiny. And he would go like this and like do this, and then he would like chicken out and put his hand back down.
I could never just follow through with it.
Just wrap it in. The whole time he was like too afraid to actually hold my hand in the movie, but it was cute, it was innocent. Was it love at first sight?
Yeah, for me it was. It's kind of weird to think about. Not weird, but just when you're that young, you don't think of it that way. But I told her this, I think a couple weeks ago actually. When I first saw her, there was a certain feeling, and it sounds so cheesy, but it really was a certain feeling that I was like, it was different. It was just different. And
I feel terrible because it was not love at first sight for me, but
it's called persistence.
I grew to love it.
Persistent.
True. Very true. What is y'all's song? Like a song that means something in your relationship?
Speechless by
Because
Dan
that was
and
our
Shay.
wedding song.
Yeah, that was our first dance, right?
Yeah. I remember in the beginning of our relationship what our song was. Do you remember?
When we were dating.
Yeah, like when we were young, what our song was. And then it became like so popular at weddings. We were like, ugh.
Well, I had two. So Forever was the first one.
That's the one I'm talking about.
And then The Call by the Backstreet Boys.
The Call?
Remember The Call? We were sitting out by the pool, out by your pool.
Yeah.
And somehow the Backstreet Boys or something got brought up, and I was like, this is one of my favorite songs by the Backstreet Boys. And I played it, and you're like, mine too.
Yeah, it's true.
But anyways,
it wasn't like our song.
Okay.
Our song was definitely Forever by Chris Brown. But then that wedding video came out where they were like dancing down the aisle to it. So it became like everyone's song, and we were like, ugh. So the most asked question on here is, when are we having kids? A long time.
Not that we don't want them. It's just we have gone through this phase of life of not really being with each other.
Yeah, because our relationship, it started so young. We were together for 9 years before we were married, but he was in a band and I was acting.
Yeah.
And so he would leave and go to Europe for 3 months, and I would leave and go film a movie for 3 months, and then he would leave and go to Japan and Germany. And so a lot of our first couple years of our relationship was really long distance. Like I remember you would stay up all night just to talk to me on Skype.
I had a lot of stamina when I was young.
Out of the 9 years, like we maybe had like 3 years that we were like in the same place.
By now I would say about 4 years
maybe
we've
4.
been in the same place.
So we had so much time that we weren't really together. And then, you know, every relationship has like their highs and their lows. And so the part of our relationship that was actually really solid was only the last like 2-3 years. Mm-hmm. We also just want to like enjoy our time together before we add a third party. I mean, we've already added one little baby to the mix.
He's our little lamb.
Our heart and soul. We really want to just like enjoy our relationship the way it is now before we start like adding kids. We want to travel, we want to do some things, but kids are definitely in the future, just future.
Yeah.
What would you say makes a healthy relationship?
Communication.
Are we good at communicating?
No. I'm better. It's hard. For me, it's hard because I think that she is a mind reader, and I consistently just don't. I don't know how to explain it. Like I consistently think you know what I'm thinking, and I just kind of do things, and you're like, wait, what are you doing?
Well, I came from a family where communication was big. We communicated about everything, and he did not. And so, kind of learning to communicate with each other is, to this day, one of our biggest things that we work on, but something we've always kind of struggled and worked through.
Yeah.
A lot of the things, I joke with him that he doesn't like to use pronouns. He just goes, yeah, I'm gonna do the thing over at the thing, and then we're gonna go here, and then I'll see you later. And I'm like, what?
So not intentional. I really am not. I'm just not good at explaining things, and it saves a lot of problems.
Yeah.
In any situation, it just saves a lot of problems. Just communicate.
Yeah, I think that's like the biggest thing in our relationship. Like once we figured out that like our communication was broken, and we had to really work on making sure the other person understood what we were saying, where we were coming from, and that we in turn did the same thing.
Yeah.
That fixed so many problems. Even when it was like negative things that we didn't want to really necessarily talk about, even communicating those things made it so much less of an issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, communication, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's fun. So TC was in a band called After Romeo. When TC was in After Romeo, why were you always saying that you were just friends?
Listen, guys.
The life of a boy bander.
A little tip. If a guy and a girl are always seen together,
they're not just friends.
They're not just friends. It was a thing if a guy is single, then it makes them
more marketable and more...
and more attractive to the audience that they are, kind of catering to. But
so his manager and his band was very adamant that he could not have a public girlfriend.
Yeah, I think that's kind of gone away now. I think that people kind of just, if they find you attractive, they're gonna find, or if they like you for whatever you do, they're gonna follow you through relationships or not.
And they want to know what's going on in your life. They want to know, are you dating? Are you married? Are you happy? Are you sad? They want to know the true you. So nowadays, I feel like you can be a lot more open about it.
I think the whole not having a girl or not having a boy is an old wise man's tale at this point.
Old wives' tale.
An old...
It could be a wise man's tale too.
I think that's what I meant to say. I slur. Guys, I slur as well, but it doesn't help the communication. So when I slur, she thinks... it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Ooh. Do either of you get jealous? Did you ever get jealous of TC's friends that were girls? That's for me. So I have a funny story about this.
I don't know if it's funny or not. What is it?
The only time that I was ever like, not jealous, that's the wrong word, but nervous, was when he got a new job and he started working with all of these beautiful women. Beautiful women. I walked into his work the very first day and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, we weren't engaged at this point. This was only like a couple of years ago. It's like, oh my gosh.
That's funny.
I'm very insecure.
Really
these are gorgeous women. And so this is my one crazy thing. And I now know all of these women and love them. They are all the best. But I made him come home and I've told them this. And I was like, tell me one thing that you don't like about each of those girls so that I can feel confident. And even though I was psychotic in asking that, he was so great. And he went down the line and said, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. And just stupid stuff. Like, her hair's too long. Her hair's too short. Like, just dumb stuff.
Just things to help her make her feel.
Just to make me feel better. Because, I don't know, they were just so pretty and I was feeling so insecure.
I mean, they are pretty, but...
Yeah. Are they? I'm just kidding. Okay, this one's fun. What is the one thing the other person does that annoys you the most? So it's funny because I know this, because during our bridal shower, we had him like answer a bunch of questions and we all had to guess what his answers were, and this was one of the questions. So I know this one, tell me if I'm right. I am a slob kebab, and when I rinse my dishes in the sink, there's little food particles that don't go down the drain, and I don't always like take the time and
You gotta take the extra time to wash them down the drain. Or, what happens? They dry, they harden, and then it just takes longer to get them off. You get a brush, you just scrape it off, and I'm not doing it. So, you just wash everything when it's right there, wash it all down, and you're done. And then you move on, and everything still looks clean.
I don't know. For some reason.
Literally, 5 more seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5. You're done.
For some reason, I hate doing it. I can't stand it. It's just wasted time to me, and it drives me crazy. But I have gotten better now that we've acknowledged that that's a problem.
I still find food particles.
He does.
But I catch them immediately, because I just go and check the sink right after she washes, and I'm just like, and then I wash it all down. I'm cooked.
What is the thing that you think you do that annoys me the most?
There's a lot, guys.
He's not wrong. There's
quite a lot. I have some tics, but I think the one that annoys me the most is I ask too many questions about things that don't matter.
Okay.
Like,
I wouldn't have said that one first, but that is in there.
I think it's a really big one. Like, this one happens all the time. Hey, how does this text sound? I always am like, how does this text sound? Because I feel like I'm too aggressive.
That one.
Or I'm too nice.
Drives me
Or
crazy.
maybe I need to be a little more.
It'll take him 3 hours to respond to a text message because he like questions it so much, and then he'll ask my opinion. I'll give him my opinion. He doesn't listen, so he just puts the text away.
Well, what about this though?
And I'm like, then do what you want. Just do what you want. Write a text. Just press send. It's not that big of a deal.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
I was just gonna say your timing. You're always running late. He has no like sense of urgency sometimes.
What time is it now?
Oh gosh. It'll take him 30 minutes to like floss his teeth at night, and I just want to go to bed.
Well, genetically, listen, I have really bad
Okay.
gums. I have bad gums.
That's just one of the many examples.
But I have to floss.
It also takes him 30 minutes to eat 3 eggs in the morning. That's not a lie.
But I prepare for that by waking up early. I wake up early because I'm a slow burn of like a wake up. Like,
he is so slow.
I have to really.
I get up and I go. He gets up.
I'm in sloth mode. I'm just really kind of. I gotta get a cup of coffee in, and then I kind of gotta just like crack the eggs open and get them in the thing.
It'll take him 30 minutes to make 3 eggs, and then 30 minutes to eat 3 eggs. They're cold. It's not worth it. It's disgusting to me.
I gotta feed these bones.
That's how he eats his breakfast, and it drives me crazy because I want to get the day going. Like, we got stuff to do.
I've started now waking up about an hour before her.
It's true.
And it's actually kind of nice because by the time an hour goes by, she walks out and she's kind of like, hey, and I'm like, hey!
He's ready to go!
Again!
Yeah. So I would say that's one of my pet peeves. He just has no sense of urgency sometimes. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for submitting the questions that you did. We really appreciated it.
Yeah.
It was fun kind of reliving it. Yeah.
I love reliving some of these memories.
We should do this again for our actual like engagement and wedding.
Yeah.
But
fun.
yeah, if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe. Hit us up on Instagram if you have any other questions. All these
Rattle them
things. I don't know. We're trying to get better at that part. But thank you so much. Really, that's all we can say. We're really excited to be doing this whole YouTube thing, and we're excited that you guys are interested and want to follow along with us. And so we're very appreciative. So thank you so much.
Stay in the loop and hit the next video.
Yeah.
Isn't it right there?
I think so.
It's usually on this side.
For you, I'll put it right there.
You can do that?
Yeah.
You can choose?
Wow.
Technology.
See you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.
Ooh.